Virginia-class submarines and the AUKUS pact. In 2021, the leaders of the United States, the United Kingdom, and Australia announced the signing of a special security pact. AUKUS immediately became a sensation, hailed by some as the Pacific equivalent of NATO. Among the many nuances of this pact, there is one particularly interesting aspect. In the near future, the three countries will expand the capabilities of their navies. One of them, Australia, will upgrade its submarine fleet, which is currently represented by the Collins-class. And this is not just a simple modernization. These decent diesel-electric boats will give way to brand new and extremely formidable nuclear predators. To understand just how big a leap this is and why it has sparked so much debate, we need to take a closer look at what exactly this replacement entails. Today, we present the Virginia-class submarine. From Seawolf to Virginia, a lesson in compromise. The Virginia-class success story began with what can be described, if not as a failure, then as a very controversial achievement of its older brother. In 1995, the U.S. Navy commissioned the SSN-21 Seawolf. These new multi-purpose nuclear submarines, whose development began back in the 1980s, were intended to replace the Los Angeles-class and counter the threat posed by new Soviet submarines. The project was extremely ambitious. Seawolf was incredibly advanced and equipped with the most cutting-edge technology the Pentagon could provide. But all this sophistication became its downfall. The Seawolf turned out to be monstrously complex and expensive, costing over $3 billion per boat. In the early 1990s, even the U.S. military budget found this price tag excessive. As a result, the epic plan to build 26 boats ended with just 3 being completed. The excessive focus on maximum combat capability was recognized as a mistake even before the first Seawolf hit the water. In the early 1990s, the Centurion, or new SSN program, was launched. Its goal was to create a new nuclear-powered attack submarine that would strike a compromise between the advanced capabilities of the Seawolf and a more reasonable price. Reducing costs became the top priority. Designing a more practical submarine. Computer technology played a huge role. This would be the first nuclear submarine designed entirely on computers. Modular construction was adopted, and a significant number of components were bought off the shelf, COTS, commercial off the shelf, instead of being custom-made, which saved time and money. Most systems were built using the Open System Architecture OSA approach, making upgrades and integration of new technologies easier. The product lifecycle was also revised to ensure that operation and modernization would not be prohibitively expensive. Construction duties were split between Newport News Shipbuilding and General Dynamics Electric Boat, which divided the work on specific components and final assembly. The lead submarine, SSN-774 Virginia, was launched in 2003, giving its name to the entire class. Virginia is a nuclear-powered attack submarine capable of engaging both naval and land targets. The class is continually evolving, with each new batch, or block, surpassing the previous one. Currently, there are 5 production blocks. The Block 1 series serves as the baseline, but by Block 4, significant improvements were made. Block 5 brought a major change, an entirely new hull section, making the submarine longer and heavier. Dimensions and general layout. Early variants of the Virginia class measure 115 meters in length, 377 feet, while Block 5 stretches to 140 meters, 460 feet. Displacement ranges from 7,900 tons for the baseline version to 10,200 tons for Block 5. The layout follows a classic pattern. A large sonar array in the bow, a missile launch compartment behind it, the command center, the torpedo room, the sail, fin, above. Behind these are the crew quarters and auxiliary systems, followed by the nuclear reactor compartment. At the stern are the engine room and the pump jet propulsor, with cruciform stern planes and additional angled stabilizers. The standard crew complement is 134 personnel. The submarines can dive to operational depths of 240 meters, 800 feet, with a theoretical maximum of 490 meters, 1,600 feet. They feature a built-in diver lockout chamber for up to 9 divers, as well as a docking interface for the ASDS, Advanced Seal Delivery System, a mini-sub used by U.S. Navy SEALs and Special Operations Command. Power and propulsion. The heart of the Virginia-class is the S-9G nuclear reactor, which can be loosely decoded as Submarine Platform, 9th-generation reactor core, built by General Electric. The reactor produces 210 megawatts of thermal power, driving 2 turbines connected to a pump jet propulsor, a design by BAE Systems similar to the propulsion units of the Royal Navy's Trafalgar and Astute-class submarines. This system can propel the submarine to speeds estimated between 25 and 35 knots, 46 to 65 kilometers per hour, or 28 to 40 miles per hour. Electronics and sensors. Being one of the most modern submarines in the U.S. Navy, Virginia is equipped with the best available systems, within reasonable cost limits. Its control systems are largely fly-by-wire with an internal fiber optic network. It carries multiple sonar and hydrophone systems, topped by the large BQQ-10 spherical sonar array. Instead of traditional periscopes, Virginia uses multifunction masts equipped with a variety of electronic and optical sensors. Armament and combat role. The Virginia-class is primarily a hunter-killer submarine designed to hunt ships and submarines, as well as strike land targets with precision. For these tasks, it carries 4 torpedo tubes capable of launching Mark 48 torpedoes and UGM-84 Harpoon anti-ship missiles. Vertical launch systems for cruise missiles. On Blocks 1 and 2, the bow featured 12 individual VLS tubes. From Block 3 onward, these were replaced with Virginia Payload Tubes, VPT, large revolver-type launchers holding 6 missiles each, hidden under a single large hatch. Block 5 takes this even further, adding a massive Virginia Payload Module, VPM, 4 large launchers, each holding 7 missiles. This means the missile capacity jumped from 12 missiles on the earliest versions to 40 missiles on Block 5. Strategic implications. The switch from traditional VLS to VPM might seem odd. Why replace a proven system without obvious benefits? But the VPM design originated on Ohio-class submarines, allowing them to carry Tomahawk cruise missiles in launch tubes originally made for Trident ballistic missiles. This raises a provocative question. If the Ohio-class could swap ballistic missiles for cruise missiles, could the Virginia-class one day do the opposite? Swap cruise missiles for ballistic missiles? While the number of tubes is smaller, the large number of Virginias in service could significantly shift the strategic balance if this ever happened. The torpedo room can store up to 25 weapons. In addition to torpedo launches, harpoons can also be fired from VLS, meaning that Blocks 1-4 could carry up to 12 harpoons in vertical tubes in addition to torpedoes. With the Block 5's 28 extra VPM tubes, this capacity could be dramatically increased, though in reality, such space would more likely be used for other missile types, primarily BGM-109 Tomahawk cruise missiles. Blocks 1 through 4 can carry up to 12 Tomahawks, while Block 5 can carry up to 40. Not quite on the level of an Ohio or an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, but still formidable. Current and future production. The current plan is to produce 2 submarines per year. There are already 21 Virginias in service, with the total program aiming for over 60 boats by the 2040s. These will replace the retiring Los Angeles class and will remain the core of the U.S. attack submarine fleet into the 2070s. Future upgrades include Block 6 and Block 7, and eventually an almost entirely new design, currently referred to as SSNX. Virginia and the AUKUS connection. This brings us back to AUKUS. The pact's naval roadmap includes developing a new nuclear-powered submarine known as the SSNR, Submersible Ship Nuclear Replacement. More popularly, the SSN-AUKUS, It is intended to replace the Royal Navy's Astute-class and the Royal Australian Navy's Collins-class. Although the project is officially spearheaded by London and Canberra, it's safe to assume Washington will be deeply involved. Many expect the SSN-X and SSN-AUKUS to merge into a single program at some point. Australia's Submarine Gap. Here's the problem. Australia needs to retire the Collins class in the early 2030, but the SSN-AUKUS won't be ready until the 2040 at best. This leaves a gap, which Canberra plans to fill by purchasing Virginia-class submarines as an interim solution. Given their availability, existing production lines, and technical similarities to future SSN-AUKUS boats, Virginia seems like a logical choice. The Royal Australian Navy plans to buy 3 submarines, with the option for 2 more. Controversy and concerns. The controversy here is that Australia, a non-nuclear weapon state, will not only acquire modern nuclear-powered submarines, but also gain significant nuclear technology under AUKUS. Some argue this could potentially breach the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, NPT. There's also the previously mentioned possibility, however theoretical, of fitting ballistic missiles into Virginia-class submarines. With rising military tensions in the region, there is a scenario, however unlikely, where Australia could end up with a limited SSBN capability. That would change the strategic picture entirely. Let's hope AUKUS remains nothing more than another massive bureaucratic machine that never has to realize the full destructive potential of its weapons. And with that, our story for today comes to a close. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. There's much more to come. Like or dislike the video, leave your comments. All of this helps the channel grow. And as always, stay curious.